hell, Jimbo? Did you tell her the address?
Duh, she's my girlfriend.
Martin Prince here, now embedded at the Simpsons family.
The story today is about how the Simpsons family gets caught up in a series of chaotic events, from creating viral videos to controversies and conspiracy theories, ending in a reflection on the pressure of fame and the decision to reconnect as a regular family.
Everybody, yeah, rock your body,
yeah. Who are we singing, Moses?
The episode starts with the Simpsons doing a vlog for YouTube about their new house. They announce that they're going to give a house tour, and as soon as they invite their 50 million subscribers in, they start walking through the rooms, but they make sure to mention that the location of their mansion is a secret. While walking, Homer even talks about why he stopped recording their family therapy sessions at Marge's request, and says that anyone wanting to know the real reason can click the link to their next video. When Marge and Homer enter the kitchen, Marge mentions that it's her favorite room because, to her, the kitchen is the heart of a home. She also loves the fact that they have a robot vacuum. Right after, Homer says he loves having a mini fridge built into the wall, and when he opens it, he shows just how stocked it is with his favorite drink. Now it's Bart and Lisa's turn to show their favorite room, which is a huge home theater. They explain that this is where they record their confessional videos. In these videos, Lisa thanks everyone for the fact that her dad no longer has to work all day, since now the only thing the family has to do is film and post 15 videos a day. Bart reveals that now they are homeschooled, and after classes, they can do fun things like calling Dubai or just relaxing in their rooms, coming up with ideas for new videos.
Or, hey guys, in Dothraki. Today, I'm doing a deep dive on the internet's current obsession, the Simpsons Family Channel.
Comic Book Guy explains that it all began after a video where Maggie was supposed to perform at her school but froze on stage. Homer stood up from the audience and started talking to Maggie, reminding her that they had practiced at home. He did all the steps with her, and Maggie then began dancing on stage. All the parents watching the performance thought it was really sweet and started cheering, until, at one point, Maggie fell off the stage, but Homer managed to catch her in time, which made everyone cheer even louder. That original video hit 20 million views and was really well received. After that, Homer decided to post many more videos about him and his youngest daughter. These videos mostly showed moments the two shared, like having tea parties, Homer doing Maggie's hair, and the moment she got a Playhouse as a gift. In that same video, they even announced a discount code for their subscribers interested in buying the same Playhouse Maggie got. Then, Comic Book Guy continues to explain that everyone soon fell in love with the other members of the Simpsons family.
everybody, yeah, rock your body.
In that same video, they end up getting stopped by the police, and the comments were filled with people saying how much they love this crazy family. In a new video from Martin, who always posts updates on the Simpsons family, he announces that now each family member will have their own channel. This idea came after the video where the family did the tour of their new house. Marge's channel would focus on cooking and deep questions, featuring an innovative interview show. On Marge's channel, the video is shown where she interviews Krusty the Clown. Before asking a controversial question, she presents her unique cooking. When Krusty takes a bite of a cupcake she made, he comments on the amount of sugar and seems to feel sick. At that moment, Marge takes the opportunity to ask a controversial question. Whether Krusty's comedy is fueled by the anger he has towards his father or the anger he has towards himself. Krusty tries to change the subject by talking about his new movie, but soon starts feeling like the food is going down into his lungs and complains. Marge quickly offers him a glass of water. Over on Bart's channel, he's taken his pranks to a new level with the Yogurt Squad. One time, he goes to a store, orders strawberry yogurt, tries it, and within seconds, pretends to have an allergic reaction to the strawberry, acting like he's about to pass out. In that moment, he pulls off a trick to throw yogurt in the cashier's face, and he and his friends burst out laughing.
So good. Good pack.
During a parade in Springfield, Bart and his crew even managed to fly over in a helicopter, ruining the entire event by dumping yogurt on everyone. Now it's Martin's turn to report on his channel that The Simpsons had become the darlings of the public and, because of that, received lots of sponsorships and earnings. However, Lisa used her fame to bring attention to important emotional causes. One example was when she went to a beach completely covered in trash. Seeing a large pile of seaweed, Lisa decided to investigate and discovered that a seal was trapped in a bunch of wires. She quickly ran to cut all the wires and freed the seal, which happily made its way back to the ocean, leaving Lisa emotional. Suddenly, a video titled The Dark Side of the Simpsons Family appears. When clicked, a shadowy figure shows up on the screen, explaining that this person is the Wizard of Truth, revealing that the Simpsons were not the family they appeared to be and that they could no longer allow any more lies to be broadcast.
And I can't let these lies continue for even 1
More sex.
Milhous, why are you sitting in the dark? You'll ruin your eyes.
Mom!
Milhous then has no choice but to reveal his identity and explains that he was the one who had always filmed the Simpsons videos. Showing the behind-the-scenes footage, Milhous explains that he was the first to notice how the pressure to create videos had turned the family into monsters. In the video where they recorded the house tour in the kitchen, Marge and Homer argue because Homer couldn't open the mini fridge, and Marge wouldn't let him use a hammer to do it. In the scene where Bart and Lisa are walking around the house, Bart complains that Lisa's hand is sweaty, but she doesn't even bother to respond and asks Milhous to speak for her. When Milhous does as she asks, Bart treats him with disdain. Milhous also reveals that the friends who were part of the yogurt squad were actually paid spucklers hired to hang out with Bart. He shows what happens after filming, where the kids are getting ready to leave, and even though Bart asks them to stay, they say they don't understand why Bart calls his stunts pranks since all he's doing is wasting yogurt for no reason. Bart takes that as advice and decides that from now on, he'll use pudding for his pranks. He then asks the kids to stay and jump on the trampoline, but they refuse, saying they prefer to keep the relationship strictly professional. At that moment, Bart offers them money to stick around, and the kids agree. Now, Milhous reveals that even his girlfriend, Lisa, had fallen for an internet scam, as she had told others to dirty up the beach and trap the seal. All of this just to showcase it in her videos. We see that, in the process of doing what Lisa had asked, the animal tries to run away, and several people chase after it since the seal had been rented for Lisa's video.
Really good at freeing himself. Ah, that's a rented seal. Catch him. We're gonna lose our deposit.
Milhous decides to explain how things got to this point, and it was all because of Homer's relationship with Maggie. A while later, some business people approach Homer, excited to work with Maggie on a new movie. However, Homer explains that Maggie is scared, especially of the little girl in the movie, and decides to put Bart in her place. But the business people don't accept this and make it clear that either Maggie does the movie, or there will be no payment at all. Soon, the scene shifts to Homer trying to convince Maggie to enter a room, telling her there are a bunch of cute bunnies inside. After putting a device on his daughter's head, he opens the door and leaves her inside alone. But instead of bunnies, the room is filled with nom-noms, the creatures Maggie is terrified of. As she tries to escape them, Maggie panics. When Homer opens the door, he picks her up and comforts her. But Maggie refuses his gesture, takes off the device, and pushes Homer away. Just as Milhous admits that he likes Maggie and feels bad for her, his mom interrupts again, forcing him to end the video.
Hey, we're talking about the Simpson family. Specifically, Super Dad himself, Homer Simpson.
Guy's a phony.
They mention that, in all their years of friendship, they'd never heard Homer talk about his youngest daughter, Maggie. They later discovered that the baby no longer even wants to make videos with him, which leads them to believe that all those scenes were nothing more than a technological hoax. Lenny then asks his producer to play a video showing behind-the-scenes footage of the family's recordings. In the clip, a fake Maggie is shown, and when they try to recreate a tender moment between her and Homer, the doll's head falls off. Homer laments that even the doll doesn't like him. After they all laugh at the scene, the topic shifts to a long conversation about peanuts and how they've changed over the years. The video runs for a full 3 hours. Then, in another Simpson family video, there's a major announcement. They start by saying they are aware of the rumors going around and promise that the following day, they'll go live to address all the controversies. They conclude by assuring that no one will be able to stop them. However, Professor Frink analyzes the video, pointing out that the announcement was made 9 days ago, and since then, nobody has heard a single word from The Simpsons. Now, Frink plans to dive into his theories about what happened to the family in his special episode of Frink Leaks. But before he starts, he needs to wait for a robot to finish making his coffee. After a wall of charts and a moment where the professor feels dizzy from the smell of a permanent marker, he concludes his theory by stating that he believes the Simpson family is being held hostage by a large tech company. He says he can't reveal which one, but urges viewers to follow a channel dedicated to conspiracy theories involving The Simpsons. The channel is run by Principal Skinner, who analyzes the family's video. He points out a glitch in the footage and explains that it doesn't seem to be the real human Homer, but rather an alien dressed in human clothes.
Let me tell you something. Homer Simpson has done more for this country than Dr. Fauci and Dr. Pimple Popper combined.
In yet another video, Selma and Patty announced that they were planning to do the 4th episode of their lice-picking series, but due to the recent events online, they've decided to share what they believe happened to their sister, Marge Simpson. Their theory is that Homer went crazy, devoured his entire family, and then hid in a floating house surrounded by burnt clouds. In a brand new video, the town bullies create content revealing that they've discovered the location of the Simpsons mansion. Even though they were in front of a cemetery practicing parkour, they took a break to record this big revelation. They explain that they figured it out by finding clues hidden in all the videos the family posted. After citing a few location examples, they reveal that the biggest clue of all came from a former mailman who had been fired and was dating one of the bullies' moms. He gave them the mansion's address. They announce that later that night, they plan to visit the mansion for answers, but first, they're going to practice their parkour. When night falls, Shauna is recording herself talking about how she discovered the Simpsons mansion, claiming that she knew because she was Homer's personal dancer. While filming, the bullies show up, and Nelson confronts Jimbo, asking how he could have given the mansion's address to Shauna.
What the hell, Jimbo? Did you tell her the address?
Duh, she's my girlfriend.
Meanwhile, Martin appears on camera, announcing that he's already inside the mansion grounds. Shauna warns the bullies that they're going to miss the scoop, and everyone sprints toward the mansion's front door. But instead of entering the mansion, they're greeted by the cat lady. Looking back, they notice a group of bloggers approaching the mansion as well. Shauna and the bullies rush to be the first ones inside to film everything. When they reach the kitchen, they realize that all the phones have been left behind to charge. At that moment, Mo enters the scene to deliver the news, but Shauna interrupts him and heads straight for the home theater. When they all get there, searching for any family members, they bump into a massive statue of the sea captain, which startles them, causing everyone to fall over. Then, they notice a door with a sign reading "Panic Room." Nelson opens the door and finds the entire Simpson family huddled inside. He immediately asks one of his buddies to take a photo. In the next video, the TV host Opal interviews the Simpson family. After greeting them, she asks why they spent 9 straight days locked in a panic room. Homer explains that their house was actually designed for NFTs, and the panic room door was set to only open from the outside. Opal follows up by asking how the whole family ended up trapped. Lisa begins to explain that the family was getting ready to go live for their redemption stream. However, everyone was so nervous that she went into the panic room to grab some sponsored snacks. When she got there, she found Bart already inside, devouring everything. The two started fighting, and Marge came in to break it up. But when they tried to leave, they realized the door had locked behind them. They searched for a panic button but couldn't find one. Shortly after, Homer entered the room to tell Marge that he couldn't find the fridge. The whole family rushed to keep the door from closing, but by the time they reached it, it was too late. On the show, Marge blames Homer for getting everyone stuck inside, which surprises him, as she had always said no one was to blame. Marge admits that she never really felt that way and was just pretending. The family then shares what it was like being stuck in the panic room, surviving off all the products they'd promoted but never actually tried before. After a while, the whole family started experiencing withdrawal because they couldn't produce any new content. Each member dealt with it differently. One day, while Marge was doing her makeup, she realized Maggie had disappeared. The family frantically searched everywhere until they moved a table and saw that the ventilation duct was open. They assumed Maggie had crawled through it to escape. Homer started calling for Maggie, promising he wouldn't force her to do any more videos and that, from now on, he'd just be her dad. Finally, Maggie reappeared, hiding inside a closet, and the family was relieved. But they quickly realized the closet was too high up.
She'd been in the cabinet the whole time. We were so relieved.
Then we realized how high up she was, and then...
But Homer made an awesome catch. And Maggie barfed on him. Classic.
After this episode, they shared that something strange happened between them. Everyone started talking again and felt like they were coming out of a trance. They soon realized that all they really needed was each other. As they finished telling their story, the interviewer wipes the tears from her face, deeply moved by the family's story. Then, the family makes an announcement saying that from now on, they're disconnecting from social media. They aren't just the Simpson family, but the Simpsons. And from now on, they're moving back to their old home. Homer even jokes that he's not keeping up with things, not even reading newspapers or emails, because his neighbor changed the Wi-Fi password. But the episode ends with the Game of Thrones author complaining about losing 4 hours of his life watching that, while his wife criticizes him for not writing a sequel to the series. The two start arguing about the situation. So, he decides to start researching ideas for his new story. As he searches for dragon fights, he finds a video on YouTube. But when he clicks on it, he realizes it's actually a fight between 2 women over some candy in a jar. He thinks it's awesome and ends up getting distracted again.
Waffle to the house. Waffle to the cack to the house. From the legendary house of Waffle.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and drop a comment. See you in the next videos.